ain't got a clue what goes on in the normal world. I think a little reality check should be in order. Visit average everyday people and see how they're living. Like, I don't think you could live off of that.
I don't have high hopes for him either, especially one of the wealthiest people in the country.
Parking in your underground under Westminster for nothing, and then you've got nurses that can't even afford to go to work.
I think something needs to be dramatically done in this country, because I know there's a lot of people struggling to get by. There's more homeless people on the streets. There's more people with financial problems than there ever has been. And it seems to me when he wants to print money, he can print money.
The prices of the gas, electric, fuel, everything, it's too hard, especially when minimum wage doesn't really cover. Next to none of that, when you've got other bills and rent and council tax and all that to pay as well. It's
gone up massively. I live on my own in a one-bed apartment, and cost of living is just increased a hell of a lot, and the general wage hasn't gone up.
Cost of living, well, we're in a sort of 12-year run of Conservative government, and I think everybody's probably a bit fed up. How much of it could have been avoided? How much of it is partly Brexit? I'm sure the war in Ukraine has made a huge difference with the oil prices. I guess unemployment is probably going to go up.
My job as well, they've closed it down, so I've been made redundant in the next couple of months. So that makes it a little bit harder as well.
I do what I can, but you are very conscious of it. Like, I'm conscious, should I put my heating on? Should I be doing this? Should I go out here? And I think, I've worked bloody hard. I should be able to enjoy my money. And then I think of people that have got jobs and still can't afford to do the normal basic things. It's awful.
I am worried because I work in horse racing, and, you know, it's kind of one of them jobs what you can't really make any more money than your Pacific wage. And all the increasing with the prices of energy, how do we carry on?
I think we're concerned. I think the sort of deprivation rates in Newmarket in places are quite high. I think we are concerned. There is a very active food bank.
There's no one about. The only places you can go is to have something to eat. The rent on these places is extortionate. What I don't understand is whoever owns these, would you not rather someone be at least paying your mortgage?
Somebody's making a lot of money somewhere, or some people, and that's not being transferred back to the everyday person.
Do you think the government understands the scale of these issues?
No, of course they don't. In their big houses, they ain't got a clue what goes on in the normal world. I think a little reality check should be in order. Visit average everyday people and see how they're living. Like, I don't think you could live off of that. Parking in your underground under Westminster for nothing, and then you've got nurses that can't even afford to go to work.
Jeremy Hunt is an elder statesman, in a sense. He's been around for a long time. So you would hope so, and Rishi, as previous Chancellor, you would hope perhaps he's got a very good idea of what's going on. Yeah.
You don't sound like you're particularly happy with the state of politics at the moment.
I think, to be honest, I think the situation in the politics is unbelievable, and energy costs have just increased. They got a new Prime Minister in. How long did she last? And now there is even talk about Boris coming back after he's had parties at the Downing Street while we couldn't see our family over Christmas. And you've got Matt Hancock having affairs and that. Say no more, mate. Yeah. Say no more.
To think about. I've only just sort of stopped thinking about the damage that Brexit has done.
I'm desperately worried and upset about the health service. And I'm worried about sort of homelessness and, fuel crisis and general poverty rates and food poverty as well.
It wasn't thought through, there was lies, and I can't see any reason for it. And a lot of these problems that we've got now with the migrants coming over from France, there originally was a sort of contract with the EU to keep those people there. So, and you keep saying that with Brexit is done, it isn't done. Look at the Northern Ireland, it hasn't even got a sort of functioning devolved government.
What do you make of Rishi Sunak?
Got to give him time, haven't you? It's easy to judge from now, but he's got a lot of sorting out to do, poor boy.
I don't have high hopes for him either, especially one of the wealthiest people in the country. I don't think he'll do any better than Liz Truss did, to be fair.
He sort of presents himself quite well, but it's very difficult to say at this early stage.
Rishi, Well, he's very wealthy, but I don't think that really means that he shouldn't understand. He doesn't have to live his life as other people do, but I mean, I don't think that should necessarily be held against him.
When you have that sort of money and you don't have to worry about it, you're not going to be thinking so much of everyone else and the sort of bills and costs that they have to pay. It's like, oh, everyone's going to have to work harder and tighten the belts. It doesn't work that way. It's like we're not all out eating out every night, and it's not going to save us any money by not doing that.
If you could give Rishi Sunak a message, what would it be?
Sort the country out. Sort the country out.
Oh, that's a difficult one because he's taken on a world of pain. I think once he settles himself in, look after the workers. Look after the workers.
I do genuinely believe whether he comes up with the goods, but I do think he has a quite kind spirit in him. Yeah, I think he's quite compassionate. I think he's probably compassionate conservatism, if that's a term that applies to the Conservative Party. I don't know.
So to just actually help us out and not just the wealthiest people in the UK, and just maybe look into taxing the wealthiest, and let's have a little bit of a break.